welcome to Horse Talk, where we are going to talk about questions from the live masterclass that we didn't have time to answer yesterday. So I have printed them out here. There are quite many, so I might not answer all of them today, but I'm going to start with a couple. And the first question that caught my eyes was, what do I do with a horse that spins and bolts? And to that, I would say to you, solve it on the ground first. Because if your horse is spinning and bolting, your horse might actually do that also during the groundwork. And then you can solve it in a much safer way than trying to ride through it. Okay, 1 second. I have to find my horse. Yeah, sorry. And the clue here is that if your horse is the spinning type that kind of throws himself around and turns the other way and bolts off, your horse might even do that on the ground when doing the groundwork. So to then solve the spinning, keep the horse like in the same direction. And if the horse wants to turn and break direction, put the horse back in the same direction. So you don't want the horse to break the drive line. You want you to decide in which direction the horse continues in the circles around you. Yes, so that's how you solve then the spinning. And the bolting you solve by teaching your horse the bend to stop, so that you can bend your horse to a slower speed and then release when the horse maintains the speed. Yes, and that's also something you teach on the ground first and then do when ridden. So you have the tools to solve the behavior. So that's like the technical way of solving it. The other thing is to find out the reason why the horse is spinning and bolting. And that could be that your horse wants to be somewhere else than where he or she is. So the horse is spinning, towards the stable and bolting towards the stable. Okay, you have a stable magnet. And since you joined the masterclass yesterday, you now know what to do to solve the magnets and the actual reason for then the horse spinning and bolting. Because horses, they are either running to something or away from something. Yes, and usually when they start running, they are running away from the rein aid. That's what causes the bolting. People trying to, hold the horse back, which causes pain and stress. And the more the horse is held back, the more they want to run away then from the rein aid. So you solve that by teaching your horse the bend to stop and use a soft rein. And the other reason is, like I said, the horse bolting towards other horses or homewards. Or it could also be the worry cup is overflowing in the horse. And all the exercises inside Ride Like a Viking teaches you how to empty worry in your horse so that you're able to stop your horse without causing your horse to be worried. Yes. So I hope this helps, but I would definitely start on the ground. And very often when we start on the ground, these problems actually are solved before we then start riding. At least in the Ride Like a Viking video library, we have one spinner video series and one bolter. And both these problems got solved during the groundwork before I started riding them. Yes. Yeah, I think the bolter bolted maybe once inside the paddock. But that's when I, did the bend to stop that I already had taught the horse on the ground. So I had the tools to solve it and solve it in a lasting way. And the reason she bolted was because she had been held back for years and years and years. So although she was an old mare, she just bolted more and more and more. But after doing the program, she could ride without the reins in no time, just by, bending her to a slower speed and then releasing. Yes, so I hope this helps. And another question was, if I could explain the outside turn. Yes, when I talk about outside turn, I mean that the horse is on the outside of us in the turns when leading. And this is then regarding the connection exercise, where you then take the guard when training your horse, so that you offer your horse what horses want most, which is someone who is present and helping them be on the lookout for dangers, because horses are flight animals who live in herds. And if we can offer them this, they are going to feel then safe when together with us, and we become the herd when away from the herd. And in that sense, when I then lead the horse on a long lead rope, I make sure the horse takes the outside turns and that I'm on the inside, so that the horse isn't like shortcutting me and being on the inside. And then it's going to also be a lot easier for you to then lead the horse at liberty. Because if we don't do this and the horse is always on the inside, we start then going around the horse, and the horse just walks in a little circle in the middle and is not going to move and follow us at liberty in the same way as if we have done the outside turns and the horse follows us. And it's also a way of showing the horse that we are present, because a horse in a herd would not allow another horse to cut, beside them and take the shortest path from them. They would, be aware of this. They are very aware of each other and where they are in the herd. That's why they can, run together without bumping into each other. So you've probably seen that if two horses are walking and another is taking the inside turn on the other horse, that horse is gonna, ask that horse to, step back and give them space. Yes. So we need to do the same with our horse. Yes, to show them that we are aware of this. Yes, so that's the meaning of the outside turns. And there's another leading question as well. If my horse wants to go in front of me, should I use the flag to get him back, going backwards? Or what do I do to get the horse behind me again? Yes, what I do if I'm leading a horse and the horse starts rushing in front of me is that I simply turn around and walk the other way, which makes the horse end up behind me. And you don't have to do this in an aggressive way or anything like that. You just turn around and walk the other way, and the horse is going to end up behind you. So I don't recommend start bumping the lead rope or trying to hold them back or wave flags to get them behind us. It causes, it's easily causing them conflict with the horse. Just peacefully walk the other way and the horse is going to end up behind you again. Yes. So I hope this helps. And there was also a question about the sources and the references I had for the way the Vikings train their horses. And the references which I have used are the Biox tapestry, which is then a tapestry from the battle at Hastings, where you see horses ridden on a loose rein. And also the Icelandic sagas, and then especially Cormac saga. So you can find it there. But in general, it is not much description of how Vikings train their horses in the sagas, because I think they just thought it as something very basic and not noteworthy. It's like if we write a novel today, it doesn't give instructions on how to drive a car. It gives instructions of, the police chase or what happens with the cars. Yeah, not necessarily how you drive them. So yeah, it's based on that. And on that note, it is very clear that the Vikings 1,000 years ago, they rode their horses without needing to depend on the reins for control. Yes, so they rode with one spear in one hand and a shield in the other, and the horses had to control themselves, which then changed 500 years later when riding became a sport and people were then able to use the reins for controlling the horse, which obviously does so that we then use the rein aids for something that the horse can do themselves. And if we need to ride our horses with a tight rein to control them, we then need to do something more to give a signal. But if the horse controls him or herself, which is very possible to achieve, then we can use just picking up the rein as a signal, which is much more comfortable for the horse. Yes, and also makes horses a lot more responsive and lighter to our signals if we are not using the signals to, control them and maintain forwards or hold them back. We can use the signals to ask the horse to do something, and we then need lighter signals than if we already use them to control the horse. Yes, so that's a cue or a key thing that I think many modern riders have today forgotten, that causes a lot of problems with horses, and it starts with the leading. Yes, so if we can lead with our energy and our feet and get the horse to look at us and relax and feel safe in our presence, they are going to follow us at liberty. But if we are constantly controlling the horse with our short lead rope and with our hands, the horse then also wants to, be somewhere else. And we start this kind of knuffling and a little bit of a tug of war there that, continues into the riding and everything we do with the horse. And if we just solve this on the ground first, we bring this then partnership and connection with the horse with us into the riding. Yes, and I think that's how it's also possible to solve spinning and bolting and bucking and whatnot on the ground before we ride. So that would be my main answer to you, is that start on the ground and you will be surprised how many problems get solved before you are even in the saddle. Yes, and there was also a question about rope halter and 12 feet lead rope that I use when leading and training horses and where you can buy it. And I buy this from Weaver on Amazon and get them shipped to Norway. They are quite expensive, but they last for decades. So it's a good investment. But don't buy it just yet, because if you join the next live masterclass on Wednesday next week, you can win one. And the way you win one is to stick until the end of the live masterclass, where we then draw a winner. Yes, so I hope this helps. And this lead rope makes a huge difference. You don't necessarily have to use a rope halter. That doesn't matter that much. But the length of our lead rope matters, because that is what enables us to communicate with the horse with a partnership rather than by controlling them. Yes. And that is so, so important, because as Brené Brown says, who is an expert on emotions and relationships, she says control is the opposite of connection. And even though horses tolerate being controlled, they completely transform once we stop controlling them and, use our body language and energy and our feet when communicating with them instead. And the horse will notice this from the minute we pick up on the lead rope, if we are there to control them or to communicate with them. But if our lead rope is short and 1.5 meters long, it's not possible to communicate with them through body language. We need a longer lead rope. And if we use then a longer lead rope when leading our horse, do the outside turns, take the guard, and become a treat when training our horse, the horse is going to follow us at liberty without us needing carrots and pressure and whatnot, because we have created a actual true partnership with our horse. Yes, so that's what the live masterclass is all about. And if you want to join, then you can comment yes below and secure your spot, and you get everything you need to succeed with the problem solving with horses, and also in a way that makes it easy to ride and train your horse at liberty if you want to do that. Or you can do the same with a loose lead rope and a loose rein, and it has the exact same effect as doing the liberty, but it makes liberty easy. Yes, then comment yes below, and I will see you on the next live masterclass where you get everything you need to succeed. So thank you so much for joining this evening, and maybe I will see you there. Bye for now.